Guys, you know it's a crazy day in the stock market when the Dow Jones leads the way. Check it out. Today the Dow went up about 1% as the S&P went up 0.4%, and we had the Nasdaq go down about 0.25% as the Russell pretty much broke even. So yeah, mixed bag overall in the stock market today, and we have a lot to break down in this video. So if you guys find value, of course, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to get up to 15 free stocks from Moomoo. Link down below. Get your free money, guys, and with that being said, let's get into it. So right off the bat, guys, I want to break down the S&P 500 today, which went up 0.4%, and it closed at almost $411 per share when we're looking here at SPY, which you guys know is the most popular ETF that everybody looks at when it comes to the S&P 500. So you guys know, especially if you've been watching my channel, which if you haven't, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys know that we broke out of 407 last week, which was a very big break here for the bulls. That was the high from the beginning of last month, the beginning of March. And look at what happened today, guys. If I pull the 5-day up, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So on Friday, we hit about 409-ish. So not only did we break out of 407 on Friday, which was great, but today, we broke out of the high from Friday. That's even better. Look, we hit $411.37. That was earlier in the day, more towards the beginning of the day. Then we pulled back intraday, which you'll see here on the intraday chart. Let me pull it up and show you guys. Look, we hit 411, saw a sharp pullback to 408. That was a drop of 0.7%. And look at what happened after that. We had buyers come in. We ended up holding 407, 408 for the rest of the day, pretty much up until midday. Then right around 2 p.m. on the East Coast, heading into the last 2 hours of the day, markets ended up exploding, or at least SPY did, and really the Nasdaq did as well, even though it went down 0.25%. We'll break that down in a second here. SPY went from 409 all the way to 411. It saw a 0.5% rip into close, and we pretty much closed right at the intraday high, which was right around $411.30 roughly, right? So we pulled back intraday, saw support at about 409, then buyers came in and ripped this thing into close, which is really, really good. That's a great sign for the bulls. The fact that we held 407, 408 multiple times today, and we rallied off of it into close. Now, by the looks of it, guys, the next gap to fill here on SPY, which you all probably know if you've been watching the channel, is right around 415 to about 416. That's where it could be going as soon as maybe this week. It's totally possible. It is totally in the cards. And when it comes to Triple Q, let me pull this up, guys. Triple Q ended up going down on the day, which isn't that great. But if we pull the intraday up, we can see something very similar to what we saw in SPY, with SPY, right? We can see we rallied in the morning to about 320 on Triple Q. Then we pulled back intraday to about 317.50. Then we saw a gnarly rip into close. Look at this, from 317.50 all the way to almost 320.50 is where this went. It ran up about almost 0.9%, digging itself out of a pretty deep hole that it was in earlier in the day. At one point, it was down over 1%, and we still went down on the day, but we only closed down 0.25%, meaning we had a pretty nice move into close. So Triple Q, guys, at this point is still overbought. Don't get it twisted. It's very overbought, but we did close on a nice note here for the bulls, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, later this week, at about 320, 321. That, you guys know, is a big level of resistance from the end of August. This is a very big spot moving forward. If the bulls take it out somehow and this gets even more overbought in the short term, maybe it starts running for 325, 330. But I'm actually leaning more towards a little pullback, and who knows, maybe today was that little pullback. Who knows? But I'm leaning more towards maybe an even bigger pullback towards, let's say, 315, 313. We'll see, and maybe from that point we get bulls to come in, run it up to 320 again, then we break out of 320 to go to 335. That would be the perfect, that's what would happen in a perfect world. But of course, guys, the stock market might have different plans for us. We don't even know. We'll see how it goes, guys. But overall today, even though we had the Russell go down a little bit and the Nasdaq go down a little bit, I would consider it a W for the bulls, especially for how things ended up closing, no doubt about it. And you guys know oil, if you caught my last video, you definitely know this. Oil did very well today, up 6%. We had a bunch of energy stocks do very well. ExxonMobil, Occidental Petroleum, CVX, which is Chevron, you name it. Oil did very, very well today. And make sure you guys go check out my previous video talking about oil, which goes in depth on what ended up happening to cause this big spike in oil and thus the energy stocks. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think as always. And of course, hit that like button. Let's run the like button up and make sure to subscribe to this channel and my second channel, Stas Talks Money. If you guys, for some reason, have not subscribed to that channel yet, link down below. And now let's talk about some stocks. And honestly, I don't have many stocks planned for this video in terms of, the usual 7 to 10 stocks that I have jotted down in my notes. So for that reason, we're just going to run through the watch list here and see what's going on with some of the biggest movers throughout the day. So we had DWAC today go up a bunch, which it's interesting what's going on with DWAC here ever since who got indicted, which we're not going to get into in this video. Who knows if that messes me up in the YouTube algorithm? I don't know, probably not, but I'm not going to get political or talk about anything politics related in this video. But yeah, it seems like ever since who got indicted a couple days ago, and even before that, I mean, this stock has been going ballistic. Well, it's actually a SPAC. I mean, you guys know this is taking Truth Social public. Who knows when that's going to happen? I don't know. But DWAC has been going ballistic, and today it went up 8.5%. Now it's actually starting to break out of this downtrend. We're actually moving above the moving averages for the first time since the middle of December. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, for the first time this year. So DWAC could be reversing, but you guys know how this goes. You guys know the deal with this particular SPAC. Whenever we get news on the recent president, former president, right, this thing tends to move pretty quickly, but it's usually short-lived. So keep that in mind. This might end up dumping right back down to $11, $12, $13. That could be in the cards, but as of now, it's not doing that. It's gaining momentum, volume's kicking up. We're starting to break out of the moving averages. So for that reason, I'm watching DWAC very closely. We also had a couple of other ones move today. Macy's moved today up 7.5%. Let me pull this up and see what Macy's is looking like. So Macy's now is breaking out of the highs from last week. We're above the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart, which is good, but we're not quite yet out of the highs from the week before last week, being about $20, $19 more like it. So if Macy's breaks 19, which I'll set my alert there right now, we close a little bit under it, but if we do break out of that level, let me do that now, mark is that we're above 19, we might be making an even further move towards maybe $20.50, which is right by the low from the end of February, also by the 180 SMA. That could be the next gap to fill here on Macy's. So Macy's did very well today. We had Humana go up 5%, which is now starting to break out. We can see it's moving above the moving averages. We're starting to take the highs out from last week. We're not fully out of the woods yet, but if we start breaking above 515, 520 on Humana here, which you can see that was the high from the middle of February, also from last week, the week before. If that level starts breaking, this could really start to take off. So I'm going to set my alert on Humana at $515. Mark is at or above. We'll see where it goes from that point. So keep your eyes on HUM. Let's see what else ended up moving today. We had Roblox move today, which we actually called out in my video yesterday, guys. We called out this ascending triangle, which right now is in the early stages of playing out. You guys can see clearly we have resistance at about 45, 45.50 to about $46. Today we broke out of that. We went up 3.2% on the day, and now it looks like, again, we're getting that leg up. We're starting to get that leg up. We're not fully out of the woods yet, but if we can clearly see a takeout or a breakout rather above 47.50 to about 48, we start taking the highs out from September, also from October. That's where we can start making a legitimate leg up. We could start making the move towards $50 a share, which is where I think ultimately this could be going. So I'm going to set my alert here at $47. Mark is at or above, and we'll see where it ends up going. Again, from that point, we could get the leg up, the ascending triangle to play out. Mid-low 50s is where Roblox could be going. And Foot Locker, guys, also had a pretty good day today. Foot Locker up 4.3%. And by the looks of it, even though it collapsed after its last earnings report, now it's starting to get The bulls are starting to come back. Let's put it that way, right? Foot Locker up 4.3%, back over $40 a share, back above the 50 SMA. Now it's about to test the 180 SMA, right around 41.80, $42, which I'm going to set my alert there right now. And again, by the looks of it, guys, the uptrend is continuing here on Foot Locker. Now, all we have to see is a breakout of $42, the 180 SMA on the 4-hour. Then we could get another huge move, mid-high 40s. That's where it could be going. And by the way, guys, have you gotten your free stocks yet from Moomoo? If you haven't done that already, use that link down below or go to StasSurfS.com/Moomoo. Once you open up an account, you get 1 free share of stock. And listen to this, if you deposit at least $100, you get 4 more free shares, totaling 5 free shares of stock. And if you deposit at least $1,000, you get another 10 stocks, totaling 15 free stocks. So yeah, if you guys want some free money, free stocks from Moomoo, use that link down below. And of course, it also helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And now let's continue on here. So of course, we had XLE do very well today, which is an energy ETF. This is starting to break out of the moving averages, and it's at a multi-week high, actually almost a 1-month high here on XLE. And it's not fully out of the woods yet, but we can clearly see now it is testing the top of this wedge that we've been in for months. I mean, we've been in this wedge for months on XLE. So I'm going to set my alert at $88, which is right at the top of the wedge. If that's able to break here on XLE, I'll put my markers out or above alert at 88. There could be a move towards low mid 90s, which is where we were back in the beginning of this year. Also back in November where we hit $95. That's where this could be going. It looks like we're seeing a legitimate reversal starting to build up here on XLE. We also had Pinterest today, which we've covered time and time again recently, guys. Pinterest went up 1.8% on the day, it closed at about $28 a share, and it went over the 50 SMA at close. You guys can see here we broke out of that point. We also took out many levels of resistance today, which you can see 27 is a big level of resistance. We took that out. Now, by the looks of it, guys, we're getting towards $29, $30, top of this channel here, and also where we failed at last week, the week before that, and a couple of weeks ago from the beginning of February. So Pinterest is looking pretty bullish here, guys. I was going to say Venmo, not Venmo. PayPal owns Venmo, guys. I'm mixing up my words here. Visa is what I wanted to say. Visa starting to break out. Do you guys see this right here? We have a clear inverse head and shoulders on Visa. We have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. Now we're taking the highs out from the beginning of last month right here at about 227. We closed at 229 today. This to me looks like it is getting ready. It's gearing up to go to 230, maybe even higher, mid 230s, maybe even higher than that. So we can see a clear-cut inverse head and shoulders playing out on Visa with more upside to go, in my personal opinion. And by the looks of it, guys, Visa is reporting earnings later on this month, in about 3 weeks from now on the 25th of April. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Keep it a little bit shorter for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. And if you like the way I break down charts, stocks, all that good stuff, there's a lot more of that on Patreon. Plus, you get access to my Patreon portfolio, the Discord chat. You get more one-on-one access with me throughout the day. That is linked down below. And don't forget to get your free money from Webull, up to 12 stocks from Webull. And of course, from Moomoo, up to 15 stocks from Moomoo. All the details are linked down below. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys later.